Coach O, how are you doing today?
Doing well, man. Doing good. How about you?
Doing pretty good, but I have these roadblocks.
Today?
Not today, but sometimes. Sometimes when I want to work out,
Okay.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's boring. People are texting me.
Yeah.
What do I do to overcome these things?
So, I think the first thing you can do is like in the beginning, like when you start your journey, is to have. I mean, we talked about this before. It's like to have clear goals, clear vision of what it is you want to accomplish and why, and how you're going to accomplish it. And so that alone, so when you're going into the gym, like everything you do then is more intentional. And so when you're that more intentional, you're that more engaged in each exercise. Each exercise has a purpose that's going to serve you, and you understand that purpose. You're just more engaged, you're more connected in your workouts. You're able to be more present in your workouts because you have a clear vision of what you're doing and what you're working on. Even if you don't know exactly like what you're doing, if you're a beginner, you know what I mean, but you understand the process is to help you get to this clear point B. I think that helps a long way when you're struggling to find motivation. At least you know that you can go in still and work towards this goal even though you don't feel it. And then a lot of times you get in there and you start working, and all of a sudden your heart rate gets up, you start sweating, and you feel good, and that motivation comes then. Sometimes it just comes a little bit later, but it's normal to a lot of times feel weary, lethargic, just because life be lifing, right?
Right. No, I understand that. So that makes sense. So if I had a goal, let's say of weight loss, I need to really think about that before I step in the gym. So my gym training for that day can be more effective because it's geared towards my goal of weight loss.
Yeah.
Okay. Or strength. I'm trying to gain strength. I walk in, if I'm not ready to go, then I'll probably kind of be all over the place and maybe, missing things.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
So a clear goal so two different things, but also it could be the same thing, like, because building strength is going to help you. So it just depends. Like if it's a weight loss goal, why? Make sure you have a clear vision of why you want to lose weight and what that looks like. Like practice seeing yourself already, like you won, you know what I mean? Like you've already hit your goal. See yourself. What does that look like? What does that person do on a daily basis? Why do you want to be this person that's 40 pounds lighter? You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
What does that really look like to you? And then you go and you be that person in the gym, just with your habits. Like you be that person in the gym, you be that person outside the gym with your eating habits and your sleeping habits and how you wake up. You just wake up differently, right? And the motivation, like I said, motivation is a great tool, right? It's not always going to be there. And so that's when that clear vision helps you to show up anyway and start to develop the discipline that's required to reach that goal.
Makes sense. And sometimes when we go to the gym, and I know you go to gyms that we go to, any of the big box gyms that a lot of people are there.
Yeah.
What are some of the common ways you see people are distracted, and how can they fix that distraction?
Oh man, well, as we all know, the phones are a huge distraction. I mean, they're a huge distraction in the grocery store. You know what I mean? You can't go anywhere where you don't see people like with their phones on. But it happens in the gym too. The gym is no different. Like I see people, whether you're in the sauna or you're on a piece of workout equipment, you're sitting there on your phone in between sets. And so like you kind of have to set boundaries with your phone usage. Like I take my phone, but I don't open it up to go to social media while I'm in the gym. I use it for the music and or for podcasts or something like that. That's something, whatever I'm going to be listening to while I'm working out, but I leave it at that. And so you just kind of have to draw a line in the sand and be like, hey, not answering phone calls, during this time. I mean, this is your time to put in the work to it's your self-care time, you know what I mean? And it's okay, like now I'll answer calls from my wife in case she's listening.
Right. No, I hear you.
I'll still answer the phone,
But that brings another point. The phones do have these distraction tools that people maybe don't use, right?
Yeah.
You can put it on work, personal, or do not disturb, and where a certain list of people can call you, but everyone else can't.
Right.
So it sounds like your boundaries are basically mainly using it as a tool instead of a phone when you're at the gym. So
Right.
more of just like, this is my music or this is my podcast, and that's my boundary.
Yeah.
So
That's it. Yeah.
some people that are on their phones the whole time, they haven't set their boundaries.
Right. They just haven't set their boundary. And you get stuck. Like you'll get stuck swiping. If I didn't set that boundary and I look at something and it just automatic, I'll swipe to the next thing. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, what am I doing here? And for me, it's like when I started working out, it's been 30 years now. I think I was 14 years old when I started working out. So when I started working out, it was always about how it made me feel. And so I'm always like chasing that feeling when I go to the gym. And so I know that if I get caught swiping or something like that, like I lose momentum. Like I lose the ability to get to this mental space that I'm chasing when I'm working out. You know what I mean? It's like it's a release for me. Like it's therapy. Like for me to go and train and work out hard. Like once those endorphins get released, like I feel much better, and that's what I'm usually chasing when I go in. And so that boundary for me is necessary.
Makes sense. And I've seen the other thing I've seen people do at the gym. I've seen people get distracted by other people, right? People watching.
Yeah.
What are some steps or maybe something that you can do if you're a people watcher? What can you do?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, so I wonder, like, why are people watchers? Like, are you watching to get inspired? Like, I do, like, I'll notice people that are busting it. They're killing it in the gym, and it's a good. That's why I go to the gyms that I go to. You know what I mean? Like, I can work out by myself. I prefer not to. I prefer to have people around me working, getting after it, because I can kind of feed off of that energy as well. Some people are distracted by that, and maybe they are better off. If you find yourself in that environment, I think you get on something mindless like a bike, where you don't really have to think, and you try to push as much on that bike, and then you want to be around people. That's fine. I mean, just get on the bike and just kind of go, like something that you can be a little bit, at least be efficient at in that environment.
Makes sense. And then maybe even choose maybe a gym or a time that's less busy, so there's not as much to see. Or
if it's a true distraction for you, then maybe you're better off working out at home. Like maybe you want to have a home gym. Some people are like that. Like they're better off just like working by themselves, and they're more efficient that way. It's hard for me. Like I can do it, but it takes me like practice to really get into that mental space to get after it at home.
Makes sense.
I can do it. I've done it, but it's hard. Sometimes I don't want to try that hard. Like, let me just get around people that are working. And I just kind of feed off of that energy.
Right. No, I agree with you. I think some people are better working out at home than others.
Yeah.
And the ones that I've seen that are really good at working out at home, they do programs. And I think the programs, they see other people on the TV that are also doing the program.
Yeah.
And so I think they can feed off of that.
Yeah.
Now, there is something else. I've seen also people at the gym aimlessly walking around. I've seen that multiple times where, they're the one side of the gym, now the other side of the gym, really haven't seen them do anything really yet. Or maybe they do one thing, they do a couple sets, and then they walk somewhere else. If you're that person, that's, how do I fix that motivation?
Well, I'm not sure if that would be a motivation thing or if that's just kind of a learning thing. It sounds like somebody like new to the gym scene.
Lack of goals, maybe?
Lack of goals, maybe, and just lack of knowledge, like not really knowing what to do, so trying different things out, which is great. Even then, I think you can have a plan. So if you find yourself just kind of aimlessly wandering in between machines, like have a plan. It's like, if I find myself doing this, I'm gonna do 10 minutes on the bike. Just get on the bike or get on a treadmill, run for 10 minutes, something like that. Get your heart rate up. Be thinking while you're on this machine, like what you want to do next, and then go and try something else. It just helps to kind of be a little bit more efficient, I think, in the gym, so that you're not just there
walking around. Right. And then one last one. I think there's a motivation correlation issue between maybe feeling like you have to go to the gym to hit your goals. You know, what do you think about that? Do you have to go to a gym to hit whatever, fitness goal that you have?
No, it depends on your fitness goal, obviously, but I think for the grand majority of people um, in the American society, it's like their goals are weight loss. And I tell clients all the time, it's like, yo, you don't have to work out. You know what I mean? But you got to be disciplined with your nutrition and habits outside the gym. I mean, you have to do that regardless. I mean, the working out, the showing up to the gym, going to the gym, that's just a bonus. It's going to help you to get to that place faster, and it's gonna help you sustain a little bit better. But if your goal is to get on stage to be a bodybuilder or something like that, you better get to the gym. I don't think push-ups and walking is gonna do it. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's like
Right.
there's so many details that those guys and girls focus on, that a gym is necessary. But like for people like losing weight, like you don't have to go walking every day.
Right.
You can,
Yeah.
do things that you enjoy, and that's the other thing. So if you enjoy, like for me, like, and we played basketball,
Hmm.
and so there are times where it's like, if you want to, like, so me and my brothers still, like, right here recently we've been talking about getting into a 40 and up league, right? And so we're talking also about how, well, got to start training. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
so, but that changes like your motivation, right? It changes how you start training when you get to the gym, because you know that, man, you're gonna have to be able to move laterally. You know what I mean? Change your direction, change your speed is a thing. You know what I mean? And so, the exercises that you do, is gonna it's gonna be geared towards being a better basketball player. Same thing for a lot of people love to go and play golf.
So it goes back to your goals,
It
basically.
goes back to your goals. If you want to be like more like a better golf player or a better swimmer, like what exercises are gonna benefit you in that sport? You know what I mean? That thing that you love to do. So, yeah, always pay attention. So it's like doing things that are enjoyable can be exercise. So going and playing golf is exercise, but also you can do exercises that are going to help to improve your golf game.
Makes sense.